I feel like we're getting really cozy with each other, and I'm loving it. I'm loving that you love luxury. I'm loving that you're sharing this with your friends and your family. I love that you either just discovered me or you've been following Save the Good Girl from the jump. But either way, in my spirit right now, I feel like we're just getting very cozy and comfortable and really like settling into luxury. And I love that for us. I do. Welcome to the Save the Good Girl podcast, the SOE edition. SOE stands for Shot of Erica. And just like your shot of green juice, tequila, or espresso, it gets you exactly where you need to be in a short period of time. And I do the same thing, but for your mind. And today, y'all, we are talking about something that I feel like we all know. Like, we all know this, but do we really talk about it? Not really, because, we just kind of keep going, which is great, because, that's what we have to do. The world doesn't stop because you're sad or depressed or going through something. The world continues to move and it continues to go, and people are happy and sad and angry and mad and rich and broke and all that, all at the same time, So in this episode, we're going to talk about how your participation is needed whenever you get out of something. You need to participate in your healing. You need to participate in asking for help and knowing what you need. You need to participate. You have to do something. So a few years ago, as I've shared, I unfortunately lost my father, and it still to this day is the hardest thing that I've been through. And we all go through very difficult things in our lives that shatters us, right? So whether it's like a divorce or a breakup, or you got let go of your position and you've been working there for so long, anything that we have to part ways with, or something shattering happens to us that really changes how we live and how we move and our emotions, it puts us in a very awkward space, because now we're hurt and then we have to heal. And then we have to heal in a slow way, because if we try to speed the healing, we're not really healing in a way that's conducive to us. So we have to heal, and then we have to figure out the next steps, because now this thing has happened to us, and now we have to operate and move in a way that's going to be healthy for us, but we have to move. And maybe we don't want to, because we're sad and we're down and we're confused and we're angry and we have all these emotions and we don't know what to do. We're feeling very lost. We're feeling very low. We're feeling very left out. We're comparing. We're doing all these things. And I truly believe that when you have an emotion, you need to feel it. I don't believe in the whole like, oh, yeah, it's fine, whatever, I'm good, I don't care. Because all you're doing is avoiding, and we know that. Also, using vices to get over something never works. We all know that as well. So I think it's great to feel your emotions. I think it's even better when you feel your emotions and you're able to have a friend or a family or a therapist or whoever, someone to speak with you, because saying things out is so important. When you say it yourself, or you write it yourself, you're writing it down, you're saying it, you're talking to a friend. Do you know how many revelations I've come through, and really have revealed to me from a conversation on the phone or a voice note? There's so many revelations that has occurred when I opened up my mouth, and grief really silenced me. And I think that a lot of our pain, when we go through pain, it tends to silence us, because we don't want to talk to people about it. We're keeping our true feelings to ourselves. Sometimes we don't want to bother other people, or we feel like they don't understand, or we just don't want it. We don't want this to make us really sad, or whatever the case is, right? It tends to silence us. Life can sometimes silence you, and you have to be the one to be like, no. I am not going to stay quiet like this forever, because there's a life to live. I have things that I need to do. And when I was going through my difficult times and what I've been through, I was silenced. I didn't want to talk to my friends about my grief. I didn't want to tell them the thoughts I was going through. I didn't want to make them feel sad and they're happy in their lives, and because the world doesn't stop. So although I was grieving, during my grieving period, I had friends who were pregnant. I had friends who were engaged. I had friends who got a new house. I had friends who got a new car. I had friends who were promoted. I had friends who got a new job and family and everything you could think about. I was hearing about this, right? So the world doesn't stop. All these things are happening, and I couldn't help but feel like during that time, am I wasting my time? So then I started comparing myself, and I know we're not supposed to do that, but I did, because I'm like, did I take too long to heal? And did I this, did I that? So I was going through this place where I was questioning everything, but I'm still in my emotions, right? But not questioning everything to the point of action, which is interesting. It's not like I was going through these emotions and questions and I'm like, okay, I want to do something about it. It was more so this feeling and awareness that, oh, this doesn't feel right. And, I don't want to be here forever. So I feel like when we're going through something really difficult, we need to make a decision and understand that what we're going through is hard. I'm not going to make it light. What we go through and what you have experienced is difficult. There's certain things that has happened that we're never going to get answers for. We're never going to know. It is vital that you take your time to go through that process. You take your time to get the help that you need. You take the time to say that you need help. A lot of times life silences us, but I think the one thing that we do have a choice in is suffering in silence. We don't have to suffer in silence alone. And I think that one of the things that we need to do to participate in the magnitude of our lives is to talk to people. There's so much power in that. And once we start talking to people and letting them know how we feel and what we're going through, we have to now come to a place where we realize that nothing is going to change if we don't. Our mindset will not change on our own. Physically, nothing will happen unless you make the choice. And I come to this place where I realized, in order for me to live the life that I've always wanted to live and get the things that I've always wanted and have, the internal success and external success and joy and happiness in my life, I have to participate in that. I have to participate in understanding the updated version of me because I've been updated. When you update your phone, and it's like now you have all these features and you don't really know what they're useful for. You don't know what could really help save you time. So you have to explore your phone, explore your device to know what's going to work for you. So when you go through something very detrimental in your life, it updates you automatically. That's why it's so hard for us to catch up to who we are, because we're not the same. When life throws you in the direction that you had no idea was going to throw you, you will not be the same. And that is the fact, you won't. So now you've been updated to this new version of yourself and you're understanding certain things about you that is unfamiliar. And then you realize, wait a second, I'm kind of still right now. I'm not really doing much. I'm on autopilot. And that was me. I was on autopilot for a very long time. And I got to this place where I'm like, what is the difference between me living my life and getting what I want versus the next person? What is the problem? What is the difference? What is the secret? And there is no difference from you getting what you want versus someone else except for participation. I can't knock somebody who is consistently out there fighting for what they want. Just like when people are talking about people on social media, they're doing certain things and you're talented and you're sitting there like, I could do this, right? But we don't know you. Just like y'all didn't know me. So it's just like, I had to come to this place of, in order for me to live my life the way that I want, I have to participate in the game. I went through a period of knowing that there's a game. Like, think about a basketball game and you want to play basketball and you like it. You like basketball. You're excited for basketball. You think it's great. So with basketball in any sport, you know that we got to prepare first, right? We have to make sure we have the right outfit on, the right sneakers so that we don't injure ourselves. We have to stretch. And we have to know how the game is played. We have to know so that we don't have any fouls and now we're losing points on the team. Mind you, I don't know how basketball really works. I just know who looks good. If he's cute, I'm on his side. Okay. But you don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize your team from winning, right? So you have to learn how to play the game. You have to know the rules and you have to practice. And then eventually it's game time. The camera's on and everybody's looking at you and watching you. It is the same thing when it comes to our lives. We know that we have to get into this game of life. The rules are a little tricky because it kind of just re-ups whenever it wants, right? And we have to go with it. But we get to a place where we're like, okay, it's time to get on the court. And to get on the court, you have to have your equipment. And what is that? Your mental peace, your inner peace, your circle, your physical advancements, maybe taking walks, listening to music, creating a slow morning, all of these things, whatever it is that can really help you to get you on the court, to have your preparation. And then after practicing for some time, so we have to ease our way back in. While I was grieving, meeting with people was like a process for me. I didn't want to do dinner with everybody. I didn't want to talk to everybody. Like, it was a process for me before I got to a place of like meeting for dinner, meeting for drinks, going on vacations. It was a process. So I had to slowly weed myself in. I had to slowly do certain things. And then I got to a place where I'm at right now, which is I want to live my life in a very full, meaningful, intentional, beautiful way. And I want whatever that is for me to meet me with ease. And I want to believe that I can still have the life that I deserve and not look at the time or other people's journey as my own timestamp, because that's not fair and that's not true. So once I got out of this, and I don't want to say get out because I'm still grieving and I'm still going through a lot when it comes to that. I miss my father profusely, but I had to make a decision, and I know that my father wants me to be happy and I know that he wants me to live, but I want to live too. There's so much life to see. There's so much life to live. There's so many things that I want to do. And it's like, I had to really put myself in a space where there's nothing that I want that I can't have. I'm saying this to you, and I'm saying this not to you only, but for me as well, because one of the things that I've mentioned a couple of times was me working on my belief system and me believing that I can and I will attract and get everything that I want. And it's been challenging for me to be in that space consistently, but it is something that I'm working on because I am aware of my life and where I want my life to go, as long as it's aligned with God and what He wants for me as well. So when I decided to go back into the podcast, when I decided to give Save the Good Girl a fair shot and a fair chance, I did that as part of me living life the way that I want. I did that because I love doing the podcast and I love doing content, because my why is about whoever is listening to me, whoever is listening and looking at my Instagram post or my blog post or anything. And when I get feedback and I hear that people are inspired or they found value, it truly brings me joy. But in order for me to get there, I had to participate. I had to touch the mic again. And I haven't touched the mic in a while. So being introduced to the microphone was something very different for me, because I'm like, do I really want to do this? And after so many days and nights and weeks and years, literally, of deliberating, my answer was yes. So when I said yes to me coming back to the podcast, I thought about, what other things can I do? What other things can I say yes to? In my rafting, risking, and revealing episode, I talked about me pushing past my fear and me doing things that I normally wouldn't do and challenging myself in that way. So I'm at this place in my life where I'm very explorative and I want to know, what else can I do if I'm not afraid? How else can I fully participate in the advancement, joy, and awareness and receiving of my life? How can I participate in that? Because as we know, nothing is going to happen with us just sitting here. And I still have certain things that I need to work on mentally. I need to like push past a lot of thought processes and get myself excited to receive. So it's not just about receiving, right? I really want to maintain and sustain whatever is meant for me. And how do I do that? So that's with being intentional. And I want to be intentional. I want to be in a place of calm and ease. I know that life is difficult, and I know that it's not fair sometimes. And I know that we all go through different things that completely just silence us, it changes us, and sometimes not for the better. It just rocks us. It's just like, why is this happening to me? Why? And we don't know. We won't know until we get to the other side. And there are people who live their lives in misery. And there are people who really, they don't take hold of what life is. Like Drake has a song. Well, he doesn't have a song. He did a song with Nicki Minaj called Moment for Life. And in that song, he has a part that he says, I want to take it for more than what it is, because not everybody dies, but not everybody lives. And it's true. Death is a guarantee. Don't want to talk about it because we live in it, we out here. But not everybody lives their life the way that they should. And they let that circumstance debilitate them for years. They let certain things, they don't move slow. And when I say that, I don't want to sound insensitive, right? Because we all go through a lot of serious, heavy things, and I want to really acknowledge that. However, if you are alive and listening to this particular episode, or listening to anything that I've done, you have a purpose, and just like me, right? We are here to help one another with our talents, with our gifts. We do not have the same gifts. I am not great at accounting. I am not a person who knows how to fix things. That's just not my gift. And I accept it for what it is. I know that my gift is to connect with people. I know that I have an energy that is very infectious, and it makes me happy. It genuinely makes me feel good when other people are inspired, motivated, or if they learn something different from me, or I learned something from them. I love to learn. So I feel like, because there was a time where I did not think I was going to get out of this pain. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I did not see myself coming back to Save the Good Girl and doing this podcast. I did not see myself doing content. I just felt like at the time it was like, well, it is what it is. Have you ever felt like that before? Have you ever felt like it is what it is? This is my demise, right? And then one day you wake up and you're like, it's not. I'm still here. There's still work for me to do. There's still life for me to live. I can still get it. I can still own it. I can still get that house. I can still get that man. I can still get that job. I can still get my health back. I can still meet new friends. I can still get my family back together. I can still do it. I can still live. I can still try. I can still do it. It is time to participate. It is time for us to remember that as long as we're breathing, there's a lot of purpose for us, and we are allowed to feel our emotions, but we need to participate in the trajectory of our lives, and it can end in a beautiful way, but we have to be a part of that. And I know that we are. I wanted to share that with you guys today, and I hope that it brought you some value. And if it did, as always, I want you guys to let me know. I want you guys to let me know how this podcast made you feel, or this particular episode. Let me know if you are participating in your life. And as Drake said, everybody dies, but not everybody lives. And I want us to live, you and me, and taking steps to participate after we have gone through something really harsh and difficult in our lives. As always, guys, it is such a pleasure to talk to you. I am happy that I'm back. I'm happy that I took that step to participate in bringing back Save the Good Girl. And I cannot wait to talk to you guys this Friday and every week, every Tuesday and Friday on Save the Good Girl. Check out SaveTheGoodGirl.com. Check out the podcast. Check out the blog. And check out yourself because you lit. I'll talk to you soon.